Tohr-kreen Empire, an entire civilization of mantis warriors, has been stuck behind a 2-mile cliff for centuries. Locked on the other side of the Jagged Cliffs, unable to reach the Tyr region. Then an earthquake ripped a rift straight through the rock. A door opened, and they already sent scouts. This comes from the Thri-kreen of Athas sourcebook. Half deep dive into insect psychology and psionics, half one of the most underrated adventures TSR ever published. It's called The Taste of Fear, and it's built specifically for parties playing Thri-kreen. Bug party. Let's go, y'all. Now, if you've never played a Thri-kreen, you're missing one of the weirdest and coolest experiences 2nd edition has to offer. You're a 7-foot mantis with 4 arms, a venomous bite, and 5 attacks per round at low levels. You don't sleep, ever. While the rest of the party's camping, you're out hunting. You see everything through the lens of predator, prey, and pack. And from a DM's perspective, Thri-kreen are a nightmare to balance. They dodge missiles, can leap 50 feet from standing, and they're already stronger than most PCs at the same level. And the role-playing can go sideways fast, as Thri-kreen consider non-pack members potential food. Especially elves. Delicious, delicious elves. So your party's elf is basically a walking lunch option if you have a Thri-kreen in your party. Now, quick disclaimer before I continue. I'm going to absolutely butcher every pronunciation in this video. I'm using Tim Brown's pronunciation guide to the Thri-kreen language from an issue of Polyhedron 75 that I found on athas.org. But even then, I'm probably wrong. Now, the Taste of Fear starts off south of the Dragon Crown Mountains, where there sits a 50-foot stone mantis head called the Chak'sa. You come back from a funeral hunt, honoring the oldest Thri-kreen you've ever met, and find strangers smashing the Chak'sa with hammers. They look like Kreen, but they're bigger, faster, just wrong. They've already ripped out the purple glass eyes, they've taken prisoners, and they don't even acknowledge you're standing there. To them, you're totally beneath them. Now, what I think is brilliant about this module, before the desecration even happens, the adventure's already been working on you. You spent days escorting a dying elder named Caste to the Chak'sa. You learned Thri-kreen funeral rites. You dug a grave with your bare claws. The module makes you care about this place before it destroys it. Then the Chak'sa does something. Step onto the dais, and the DM hands you a physical player handout. Your character's racial memory fires involuntarily, flooding you with visions of a golden age. Kreen and humans building a civilization together. An emperor called the Great One. Sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows, you get my point. So you've had this beautiful moment at the Chak'sa. Then you see the Zik-Trin'ta, or hear them speak. And the DM hands you a second handout. This one's different. Pain. Whips across chitin. Your own screams. Your species was enslaved by these things thousands of years ago. The memory is so violent, the module says your character's petrified for several rounds. You can't act, you just remember. So who are these things? Zik-Trin'ta. It means altered near people. The Tohr-kreen Empire to the north takes regular Kreen, hands them to biosurgeons called Zik-Chill, and rewrites their bodies and minds. Stronger chitin, enhanced speed, new identity. Old memories? Gone. They don't even know what they used to be. Walking weapons, for lack of a better term. So let's talk numbers, because these matter, and I'm a math geek. Zik-Trin'ta scouts, 7 hit dice, AC 3, 5 attacks per round, movement rate 36. Your Thri-kreen PC? Movement 18. These things literally move twice your speed. And the combat specialists, the Zik-Trin'ta, are even worse. 9 hit dice, AC 2, fanatic morale. They fight to the death so the scouts can escape. Every single time. The Zik-Trin'ta bolt into the rift at a dead sprint. Movement rate is 36, which means they're outrunning every player character in the game. They've got a giant hollowed-out Jalathgak, carrying prisoners and stolen relics waiting for them. Best way to describe this thing is for you to picture a 50-foot wingspan grasshopper with its guts scooped out and cargo lashed to its body. You're chasing that down a canyon. Now here's what I love about the encounter design here. You're not supposed to catch them. The pursuit is mechanically unwinnable at full speed. The only reason you eventually close the gap as the Jalathgak crashes from exhaustion. The module gives you a chance, but only after it proves you're outmatched. To me, that's brilliant encounter design disguised as a cinematic chase scene. So remember all those DM headaches I mentioned? The 50-foot leaps, the missile dodging, the absurd mobility? This module takes every overpowered thing about your Thri-kreen PC and puts you against enemies who do it better. You finally feel what it's like to be on the wrong end of the action economy. I think that's why this adventure earns the all-Kreen party. Now, at this point, you find yourself at the bottom of the rift, where there's a half-built fortress, and it is very Kreen. Not built from stone or wood, it's made from insect saliva and sand, fused into crystalline cement. Behind it, a 500-foot wall called the Sijidzak, the Battle Wall. And the book says something DMs almost never see in a published module. It's possible for the PCs to die if they persist in attacking the stronghold, because your players have just met the Kreen Empire. Now the Empire, which the Kreen call Gulathuk, which translates to the Family of Nations, has grown too large to support itself. They need new territory, and the most promising direction? East, up the Great Rift, into the Tablelands. And I want to point out that the Empire isn't one species. It's 6. Jaral, Jez, Jal, Chak'sa, Keech, and Tundi, all locked into a rigid hierarchy. Jez run the bureaucracy, Jal build things and fight wars, and the Chak'sa, one of the 2 subspecies your Thri-kreen player characters can draw from, are considered barbarians by their own empire. The other subspecies you might be playing? Jaral, the teachers and priests, respected in the Empire, but expendable down here. Either way, to the Zik-Trin'ta, you're just parts. So who's giving the orders? The Hazi, the Kreen Emperor, a Jal who rarely leaves his capital. But here's a little conspiracy angle here for you. Some Kreen believe the Zik-Chill are the ones actually pulling the strings. Dissenters who say it out loud, they disappear into the temple laboratories. The biosurgeons don't just make weapons, they run an inquisition. These priests of change answer to nobody. Now, most D&D adventures usually end with a boss fight. This one gives you 3 endings, and none of them are heroic by any stretch. Destroy the scouts before they reach the stronghold. Partial win. Attack the stronghold and probably die. Or the one the module actually wants. Observe, survive, and go home to warn your people. I genuinely think the best outcome in this adventure is running away with information. Because if the Gulathuk pushes east through the rift, what happens next isn't a border skirmish. The Wanderer's Chronicle calls it what it is: a terrible war between insect and mammal-based life forms. A species-level war. And the mammals don't know it's coming.